Now I want to talk briefly about three different types of inflatable life jacket inflators. The first is a manual inflator. In this case, I have to pull the ripcord for the CO2 cylinder to be dumped into the bladder. And by doing this, by pulling on this, I shear this little green clip and a spike goes up and pierces the CO2 cylinder and the gas rushes in. The advantage of this is that it's inexpensive and compact, but it won't activate unless I pull the ripcord. An improved version of the manual inflator is this one. This is called a 3F inflator. Now the 3F inflator, this is kind of a crummy CO2 cylinder, one of the reasons that you want to maintain your devices, has the same effect. We're going to pull on the ripcord and it's going to inflate, but the advantage is that we have the green window, so we have cylinder seal indication on this style inflator, but again, manual only. The next type of inflator is one that is water activated. Now, this is an interesting nomenclature distinction because the Coast Guard, when these came out, originally said it was manually activated with a water activated backup. But most of us would think of these as being automatic or water sensing or something like that. So in this case, the water floods into this chamber in the bottom, gets to this yellow bobbin, which we've talked about. The bobbin disintegrates. It's like aspirin in water. You know, it just turns into, crumbles. The spring is preloaded. It jams up into the CO2 cylinder and the CO2 rushes into the bladder. Okay, so water activated. Remember, when you jump in with a water activated inflator, pull the ripcord anyway if you're able to, just belt and suspenders approach. The improvement of that is what we've been talking about, the 1F inflator. Now, similar concept, the water-activated bobbin is inside the cylinder, but it has more protection from downpours and accidental splashes. So the water actually has to flood in through a little port on the side. It dissolves the bobbin, spring jams in, and pops the cylinder. Now, again, it's this single point of indication that shows us the cylinder seal has not been broken. So this is an improvement. The disadvantage is a slight increase in cost and bulk. So this is physically a larger inflator, but it has some really nice features. The final type of inflator is the hydrostatic. So this is made out of two different pieces. It has the brains of it, which is this little piece on the outside, and that has a trap door. And the water has to rush in through the trap door inside of it, and that causes a spring to pierce the CO2 cylinder. On the inside, the spring drives a pin up, and then this exhausts into the bladder. Now they fit together by sort of keying them like this. They really do fit very precisely. And then they would lock by locking this ring together. And the fabric is right in between those. The fabric would be right in here. So the CO2 cylinder is actually inside the life jacket. The disadvantage of the hydrostatic inflator is two things. One is you have to make sure that the bladder is completely evacuated, because if it senses that there's already air inside the bladder, it won't fire, which is a safety feature. The second is it's more expensive than the other brands, but it's really, really a differentiated one for wet, splash-ridden environments.